Hi there, and welcome to my next video on my YouTube channel, Unapologetic with Lorelei. I'm standing here on the Heathland sunset, actually, around sunset, and it's beautiful. It's a slight breeze, but it's not cold. Totally different than last week when it was really, really freezing and a sharp cold wind, and snow was blowing here. So, yeah, I enjoy nature as it is. So, I hope you do too, and I hope you have a great day. And coming to the topic of today is that there's a difference between peace and avoidance. And sometimes we might mistake one for the other because they're both kind of quiet and we're both, kind of avoiding it. It's not avoiding, but it still is, if that makes sense. I guess what I mean to say, it's like they both have not so much reaction from things, and that's why we sometimes get mixed signals from within ourselves, even that we think we are at peace, and what we are really doing is avoiding things, and avoiding things is not always a good thing. If you're consciously doing something to say, okay, I'm doing this because of that. A different thing, but if you're doing it subconsciously, you might bump into something not so pleasant sooner or later because yeah, you might come to a point of saying, well, hang on, I think I should have tackled that differently inside of me anyhow. And with the difference between peace and avoidance is also the distance it involves. You know, we take distance from it, from something, and we don't know that it's whether it's avoidance or we're doing it because we're at peace with something. And I think it's very important because I learned things from experience. Believe me, that I thought I was, having it all together and I was being peaceful and I was okay. But I came later on to the conclusion that I've been just avoiding things, and there comes a point that you still have to have to have a confrontation about something, and you have to deal with it. So, before I'm going to talk more on the topic, perhaps it resonates to you, and you might want to join me on my walk here. I'm going to flip the screen, show you in the beautiful piece of heathland where I am at the moment, and yeah, I'm going to talk more on this topic. So I hope you're going to join me for my walk here. I'm going to flip the screen and see you on the other side. And sometimes it only becomes clear, I guess, when you're really imagining and re-entering the situation. Just go back to the situation. Does something open, or does it tighten your feeling, your nerves? And I guess there's no real instruction here, or I can give you to feel this is that and this is that, and I have no correction or conclusions for you. It's just really you have to do it by feeling, I guess. Does it feel good? Does it really feel peaceful inside? I think that's what you can call peace. Do you still feel tension and you think you are at peace, but do you still feel tension and tightness in your nerve system or in your stomach, or are you having headaches or whatever physical things, symptoms you might have or come across? I think that's where you can be honest with yourself and say, well, I have to deal with it differently because I'm not at peace. I'm really, really avoiding it, and I'm afraid of the confrontation emotionally. And yeah, it's a tough one. I really do believe it's a tough one. But as I said, just the distinction that becomes clearer the longer you live with it, and the longer also you try to be aware of it, of what it is, and often just noticing the difference is already enough. Is already a very good start, and then you just have to, you don't have to. I can't tell you what you have to because I'm not an expert. I'm just sharing my experiences here, my life experience, my insights. So I from that standpoint, I can say, the rest really tends to organize itself, and and you have to reassure yourself again and find yourself again, and just sometimes let it go, not avoid it, but don't hunt it. And well, with these wise words, I guess, I do wish you a very nice day. If you're interested, I'm posting daily on topics that I think resonates to many people, many women amongst us, worldwide even, I guess. And so, yes, you can always subscribe to my channel or give a thumbs up or leave a comment. I will certainly read it and reply to it. And but first and foremost, I really hope you're going to take care of yourself. Take very good care of yourself and your loved ones. And I really hope to see you in my next video. Bye. So this is it. I just flipped my screen here, and I'm going to do a little, well, 360 or 180 or however you want to call it. I'm going to do a little tour of of where I'm standing here at the moment. You see, it's beautiful. It's very peaceful, and yeah, I can really sometimes, as I call it, recharge my battery here. And at this moment, it's Friday. I don't know what day you're watching this video, but for me, the Friday afternoon here is always, yeah, I can unwind and get a lot of things over what happened over the week to yeah, to get rid of it, or to place it, or whatever it is. And well, it might touch a little bit the topic of today. As I said, there's the difference between um, peace and avoidance, as the title was of my video here. So yeah, you can't go wrong with that. You know where it's about. And by the way, I love always the skies that are showing here. So many different skies every time I come here, and I come here a lot in this big area, and it's so spectacular. I don't know if you love skies, but for me, they're just as a part of nature as trees and sea and, well, beach even, or plants, whatever, whatever. Anyhow, I love the sky. That's what I just seem to be telling you here right now. But as I said, from the outside, peace and avoidance, they can really look almost identical, as I said just now, but they can be involving quietness, or distance, or not so much reaction. And that's why they're often confusing us, and or tricking us, or fooling ourselves a little bit inside, and uh, and they can fool, confused by others. They can be taken with confusion because they don't know what we mean, or how we're dealing with it, and also by ourselves. And well, I realize that having a peaceful feeling inside it gives a sense of space. It gives a feeling of space, and gives a lot of room for breathing. And as I said, like walking here, it gives me space to breathe, and it's wonderful. I personally, I need it. Sorry, I need it a lot. I don't know if you need it, but I do need my space and my, yeah, to settle my head in that respect. And well, even if something remains unsolved, there's still room for, yeah, feeling, being at peace and being okay. And even though it's not resolved, it doesn't feel urgent anymore all of a sudden. And I like that. I like that kind of feeling. And but I also have been tricked by avoidance, and I think we all have been. And because that's, for me, that's different. It gives a lot of tension, and the efforts that there is involved is giving me tension. And it feels like something's been held away and not set down, or settled, or however you want to call it. But anyhow, it gives a restless feeling if you avoid something, because deep down inside, something's off, something's wrong, something I haven't worked out properly. And I guess what makes it complicated is that both can be involved with growth, and after a period of intensity, or stepping back, uh, can feel necessary. You have to step back sometimes, and that's why it can be confusing whether you are avoiding or whether you are at peace. And silence can also be restorative. I hope I pronounced that well. Restorative just came to mind. And but probably by now you understood that English is not my mother tongue, and so I might be having some wrongful use of words, or using wrong verbs grammatically. I hope you forgive me, and I hope you still can catch the drift of what I'm saying here. And coming back over this topic of avoidance, and over time, well, I don't know about you, but my body, it just registers very sharply the difference between peace and avoidance. So if I may rationalize it, and I say I don't know the difference, or I don't know what I feel, well, if my body tells me, and my nerve system, it's for sure, it tells me the difference. Because peace, as I said, it can feel quite not expensive, expensive. Yeah, not expensive as in money, of course, but and avoidance, it feels like contained. It's a different kind of feeling. It feels squeezed for me, anyhow, and just not necessarily wrong, but it just doesn't feel as nice as what I would like it to feel. I don't know if anybody can resonate, and if it rings a bell for you, and say, well, I think I'm having trouble with this as well, because I feel not very good, or yes, I do feel good because I have found some more inner peace, and that's all the better for you. I really hope you have found that. And sometimes you just don't know which one you're in the right way, and sometimes it may take days or weeks, and if it's really really deep into your nervous system, it can take months or years even, I guess. But still, um, well, I talking of years, I just came to mind now that it was a long time after my divorce for me to feel peace, and I really was trying to avoid a lot of things then, and so that was one moment in my life that, yeah, it took me a way much longer to have found inner peace again than I would have wanted to.